Today we're going to be going over how to plan out your science-bound essay. So you will be getting a document that looks like this. This is your planning guide. It will help walk you through exactly what you need to include in every paragraph of your essay. Your essay will end up being 5 paragraphs long. We're just going to put that on here so you remember. So your essay will end up being 5 paragraphs long. This planning guide is going to help you walk you through what each of those paragraphs needs to include. The first paragraph of your essay will be your introduction. Your introduction, if you include everything you need to, should end up being about 4 to 5 sentences long. Your introduction is going to consist of 3 different parts. It is going to consist of a hook, so how you are going to catch your reader's attention, a thesis statement, which is 1 sentence where you will tell us why you deserve to continue to be a science-bound scholar, and then finally you will give us a preview statement, which is a sneak peek of what you will be talking about in your essay, like the events from Science-Bound that you were going to discuss. I'm going to show you several examples of these. So, for example, for a hook, you might want to consider using a quote or a personal statement. Here's an example of a quote. The achievement of one goal should be the starting points of another. If you use a quote, you then have to explain what that quote means to you or how it relates to Science-Bound. So this person followed this quote up by saying, this quote from Alexander Graham Bell means that when you achieve your goals, you keep on going. You keep on going on. So they explained what their interpretation of that quote was. Let's look at the other type of hook you might use, which is a personal statement. Life is not always easy, and mine is no exception. So they are making a personal statement about their life. They are then going to explain how that connects to Science-Bound. Science-Bound has shown me that I am capable of overcoming things in my life that might have otherwise dragged me down. Immediately with both of these hooks, the reader wants to continue reading. So consider using a quote or a personal statement. This can sometimes be the hardest thing to come up with, is that first sentence. If you are stuck and you're not sure how to hook people in, start with the thesis or the preview instead. Start where you are ready. You can always go back and add more at the beginning. The next sentence of your introduction will be the thesis. So in 1 sentence, tell us why you deserve to continue to be a science-bound scholar. Here are 2 examples of thesis statements. I have had a lot of experiences with Science-Bound that have inspired me and helped me with my goals. We then know that through the rest of the essay, this scholar is going to talk about moments that inspired them and moments that helped them with their goals. They've set up the rest of the essay. This Science-Bound scholar wrote, Science-Bound has helped me explore my own curiosity as a learner. We then know the rest of their essay is going to talk about how Science-Bound has helped them explore their own curiosity. On your introduction planning guide then, you will go ahead and decide, how do I want to hook somebody? You might just write, at this point in time, you might just write quote. I'm going to choose a quote. Maybe you're going to write down the quote that you found inspiring. Remember for your thesis that your thesis needs to include the words Science-Bound. You're talking about the Science-Bound program, make sure to include the word Science-Bound in your thesis statement. And then your last part of your introduction, this is the very last sentence in any introduction for a personal essay, is a preview statement. You're going to give us a sneak peek of what you're going to talk about in your essay, specifically what events or experiences you are going to talk about. Here are some examples. Some of these experiences are our visits to Y Camp, ISU, and Algebra Champions. We now know that their first body paragraph is going to talk about Y Camp. Their second body paragraph is going to talk about their Iowa State trips, and their third body paragraph is going to talk about Algebra Champions. Another way that you might write this is, Science Bound has given me a chance to explore math during Algebra Champions, investigate nature and the world around us through our YCamp trip to Boone, and finally, developing my communication skills in our Science Bound Science Fair. This student has gone even farther than the example one. They've said they're going to talk about Algebra Champions, but we know specifically they're going to talk about the math aspect of Algebra Champions. We know that they're going to talk about their YCamp trip to Boone, but specifically they're going to talk about how investigating that nature and the world around them. And then finally, we know their third body paragraph is going to be about developing their communication skills by doing the Science Bound Science Fair. In order to write your preview statement, you have to decide what events or experiences you're going to talk about. So as of right now, if you haven't decided on those body paragraphs, your preview sentence might just say some of these experiences are, and then you might just have blanks. And that's okay. You can always go in and fill those in later. At this point in time, you should have enough information to start filling out your introduction planning guide. You are going to use this planning guide to then help you write your essay.